Alright, so welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the titles and synopsis for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 1 through 4. Now the titles for the first 8 episodes were released like a week or two ago. However, a lot of times they don't always release all 8 titles all at once, so I'm holding off because episodes 5 through 8 haven't gotten synopsises yet. And once they usually get synopsis, the titles usually are permanent. But since they haven't gotten any synopsis yet, I'm going to hold off. Because I don't think, at least for the 7 and 8, don't sound legit. The episodes for 5 and 6 do sound legit, but they don't have any synopsis yet. So I'm going to hold off and do those titles in a separate video. But let's get into this. Alright, so first up we got episode 1, A New Beginning. Now the synopsis for this episode reads, Rick and his group makes a risky run into Washington, D.C. to search for artifacts they will need to rebuild the civilization he and Carl envisioned. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say I predicted this right, that they're probably going to get the Washington, D.C. episode one and done within like one episode. So it looks like that's happening in this episode. Not much else to go off of here. If you saw the first 5-minute clip circling the internet, we did see them beginning to go into the city, the whole group on horseback and whatnot. So that's exciting. Can't wait to see what they do there. Again, I think it's going to be a one and done episode. Now, also interesting to note, this will be the first appearance of some comic characters like Tammy Rose, Earl, and Marco. I know those are some of the few that will be introduced within this episode. I don't think we're getting Magna in this episode, but I think we're going to get at least the introduction to those characters in this episode. That's very cool. Another thing to note in this episode is that it's going to be 88 minutes long. Now, just so everybody knows, just remember that's 88 minutes with commercials, because I know a lot of fans will make a big fuss online when the episode has commercials and say, oh, it wasn't 88 minutes. I think you got to remember, that's 88 minutes with commercials. It's not going to be 100, it's not going to be all 88 minutes of just Walking Dead content. It's with commercials. So just please remember that. As for the title, I think it's pretty interesting. Now, I am feeling a little conflicted because there's rumored to be a second time jump following Rick's death. So I kind of feel like that would have been a good time to use A New Beginning title. But second, it's also a new beginning after the all-out war. We do have a time jump. Overall, I'm not complaining. I'm interested to see how they utilize it with the title. I think it would have worked for both, and honestly, I probably wouldn't care of which episode they used it for, and I think, if I'm being honest, to have it be the premiere kind of works a little better, but leave your thoughts and opinions about that in the comment section down below. Next, we got episode 2, titled The Bridge. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, the communities join forces to restore a bridge that will facilitate communication and trade. Someone is gravely injured at the construction site. Now, this is very interesting because we saw that they're going to be rebuilding the bridge in the trailer. And if you watch the opening 5 minutes, you see Jerry and Daryl passing each other on a bridge. And you can tell in the trailer it's a little damaged. So I wonder if there's going to be a storm or something that damages the bridge more. I don't know. It just seems a little too convenient that they show that. And then we see them building a bridge later in the trailer. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit too much there to just say, oh, that was just a coincidence. Other than that, not much else to go on. The injury, at first I thought it might be Rick, but I don't think it's going to be Rick because I feel like they're not going to injure him in episode 2 and then drag his death out until episode 5. So I think it's probably going to be someone else, another key player, but probably they'll survive at least. Maybe it'll be Maggie or something. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Maggie because we see her a lot in the trailer too. Walking and moving around. So I don't think it's going to be Maggie. I don't honestly know who it could be. But I'm interested to see what they do there and who it is. One interesting thing to note is that this will be Andrew Lincoln's 100th appearance on the show as Rick Grimes. Funny how in just 3 episodes later it'll be his last appearance. I kind of, in a sense, I kind of wish he would have gone out in his 100th episode, but at the same time, I think it'd be too rushed. But I kind of wish they had done it that way. because I feel like it'd have been cool. His 100th episode, he goes out in that episode. That would have been kind of cool, and I don't know. I just kind of think that would have been a cool thing to do, but maybe it's just me thinking that. But other than that, not much else to go on. The title of the bridge is pretty obvious on what's going on, along with the synopsis, so not much else to predict there. Next, we got episode 3, titled Warning Signs. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, Rick's vision for the future is threatened by a mysterious disappearance that divides the work camp where the communities are building the bridge. Now, this is very interesting. I know a lot of people who are comic readers will right away jump and say, oh my god, this is the introduction to the Whispers. I do not believe that they're going to do the Whispers yet this early in the season. I don't think they can juggle it with Rick also leaving. I think it's just too much to add in, plus the introduction to new characters. I don't think they're going to do it in this episode. I think just maybe, I'm going to predict maybe like that guy Jed from the trailer that we see him holding Carol at gunpoint and at knife point. I think he's going to maybe kidnap Carol and maybe one or two other characters with a couple saviors try to, like, you know, lure Rick out or something. I think it's going to be something like that. And and like it says, it'll divide the work camp, because then you'll have people jumping on the saviors saying it was them, and then it'll divide the camp up that way. But then thinking about it now, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it'll be someone different, because I think it's too obvious for it to be a savior. I don't know, it just seems a little bit too obvious that they'd have a savior be doing this stuff. Maybe it'll be someone else, maybe Gregory or something, although I do think Gregory might be dead already by this point. I don't know, and plus I don't think Gregory would be at the work site, so that just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm at a loss for who this person could be. And again, I don't think it's the Whispers. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's just misleading us to think, oh my god, the Whispers are coming. And it's just that misleading us there. And other than that, warning signs, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be much other than, for me, at least, when you look at the titles in the past, majority of the titles are usually a line of dialogue a character says, with the exception with The Day Will Come Where You Won't Be, or No Way Out. Those weren't actual words spoken in that episode or anything. But all in all, I think this will probably have to do with, if you look at the trailer, there was a scene in the night where it said final warning. I think it might have to do with something like that. And then when the character says, you know, oh, it's a warning sign or something like that. I don't know. But other than that, can't predict much else. It's very vague here, probably to keep things secret. Again, I don't think it's the Whispers, but I do think it'll be someone our characters know, at least. Someone who our characters are familiar with, who would be able to lure our characters away and take them captive or something like that. Last, we got episode 4, titled The Obliged. Now, the synopsis for this episode reads, Rick's vision of a civilized future is threatened by a sudden reckoning with past sins that remain unavenged and unforgiven. Now, I think this could be a whole host of different things. It's so vague. Like, it could be the whole Maggie and Daryl coming back and attacking him. I don't think it's going to be that. It just seems too obvious for that to be something. It doesn't make any sense for that. I think what's going to happen is it has to do with the Saviors and Rick's decision not to kill Negan. And I think there's going to be something that goes on where I think that guy Jed and a few other maybe loyalist saviors kidnap maybe Carol and try to figure out where Negan is, and they want to like free him or something. And they go to free him from his prison, and Rick and a couple other people, or maybe just Rick, have to stop him, and there's like a confrontation or whatever. And this is where Rick gets injured towards the end of the episode and is like shot or fatally stabbed. Something like that. Like, I think that is what's gonna happen, because it's this whole thing about he has to deal with with his past sins, and I think it has it's leaning, in my opinion, closer to that. And I've remained firm on my prediction there. I know a lot of people might not like that prediction, but I think it's pretty. I feel like I'm onto something. Maybe I'm not. But at least for me, I feel like I'm onto something where they get information from Carol, and then they, go and try to free Negan. Rick tries to stop him. and then, all that. I figured something like that. But leave your thoughts and opinions on this episode and all the other episodes, titles, and the synopsises in the comment section down below. With this episode, not much else to go off of here. The title is, vague, not much else to go off of, but I'm very excited to see what they do with each episode and what they do leading up to Rick's final episode and death and or departure, depending on what you want to believe will happen with Rick in his last episodes. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions and some predictions for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episodes 1 through 4, titles and synopsises. Again, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big like and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the bell icon. That way you don't miss any more Walking Dead content from me leading up to the Season 9 premiere of The Walking Dead and any more Walking Dead content and reviews once The Walking Dead comes back on. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.